Happy Smut-mas! I'm Aubrey,
And I'm Peyton.
and today we are reviewing the short story collection Under the Mistletoe.
Yes, so join us with a cup of coffee as we dive between these paper sheets.
Let's do this.
Alrighty, hey everyone! It is officially
Hello.
December. It's my birth month, so I'm a little, biased, but Christmas is my favorite holiday. And I'm so happy that we're able to bring you some holiday content this month because this is not really our cup of tea. It's not our genre.
We are guests in this space,
Yeah, we are a
and we know
guest.
it.
Yeah, as you will see later in this episode. So last year we read a smutty Christmas book, but this year we are topping that. So this is our NS section, our non-spoiler section. So we're just gonna give you a little overview, our thoughts and non-spoilerish feelings about this short story collection, and then we'll get into a spoiler section and break down each individual short story.
Yes, so I actually found this short story collection just it came up in my Kindle recommended. Because if you don't know, this Under the Mistletoe short story collection, I think Amazon paid for this because it says it's sponsored by Amazon on it, which
I
whatever.
think so.
But it's on Kindle Unlimited and it's also on Kindle Unlimited audio, which was super nice because then you can just listen to it all. But it has some big name. I mean, again, we're guests in this space. What I would consider big name romance authors, Ali Hazelwood and Tessa Bailey. I
Yes.
recognize those names being someone who is not from this genre. We are fantasy readers at heart. And like Peyton said, that will probably show. But I was super excited to see this because fantasy doesn't offer Christmas things in the same way. We have the Frost
Winter.
of Starlight or whatever, the ACOTAR book
And it's
that
always like winter solstice
Winter
themed.
solstice, or
Is
I'm going to Yuletide this weekend,
Oh,
which is a
yes.
winter Ren fair. So it's there, but it's not the same.
It's not like.
We're Hallmark movie watchers, Peyton and I,
Mhm.
and that is something that I have come to rely on when viewing these stories,
It's
because we
Hallmark.
just want that romance, that Christmas, that merry vibe, and I think that these stories deliver on that.
Yeah. The very Hallmarky meeting sort of cringy aspect of it is
Yes.
definitely present in these stories. Yeah, so there's 5 short stories. I love this KU feature when they offer the audiobook and
Yes.
the just,
The
Kindle
ebook, yeah.
the ebook because it picks up where you are. So like if you're reading and then switch to Audible, it's like, "Oh, picking up where you left off." I'm like, "Thank you." I usually have to
That's
like
so
find it
good.
myself. Anyway,
Yeah.
so I love that. So 5 short stories. And I think that they were like 7 hours if you read them just on
Yes.
1x.
Mhm.
But they flew by for me. I listened to them while
Yeah.
I was working and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm already on the 3rd one." So it really is the perfect Christmas read when, like, this is the busiest season of the year and everyone's just hustling and bustling. This is a really great opportunity just to, like, pop in, read a story a day, and not feel like, "Oh, I forget what happened last chapter."
Or if you're trying to boost that Goodreads challenge,
Yes.
because that certainly helps me along the way. I think I listen to everything at 2x. That's my, stake, my claim, everyone knows. 2x or higher is where I like to listen to things. So this took me, 4 hours. It was, 1 work day. I was like, "This is sick."
Yeah.
And it was cute. I liked a lot of it. So jumping into this holiday vibes, I think that the most important thing I had to remind myself, especially moving past the first one, but for the other 4, you have to be okay with insta love. I think in this collection, I just
Yep.
want to start with the romance, the storytelling. You see it in Hallmark movies, and I know sometimes in books where okay, insta love is cheesy, I hate it and cringy, and I struggled with it on the first one, and then I had to rethink my brain, and I had to be like, okay, wait, this is short stories. We
They
have a
have
very
to.
limited amount of
Yeah.
page here. I was like, I have to just be okay with it, even if I don't I feel like it knocked a start off because the first short story, Cruel Winter with You, Ali Hazelwood proves that you can do a beautiful Christmas short story without insta love. And another one kind of fits in there as well.
Right.
But
Yep.
I was just I think that was the biggest thing for me is that they'd meet it. for some of them, they met on the first page and they were like, "We're in love. I'm taking you to my parents' Christmas house for Christmas." On the last page.
Yeah. It was that drastic, and it was, like, a day of knowing each other. So, I agree, but I think, like, setting your mindset around that, but, they really did all those other authors dirty, 'cause it's 1 through 5, and they are marked. You
Yes.
can read them in any order, it really doesn't
Mhm.
matter, but I didn't know that at the time, so I was just reading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and
Yeah.
they did all those other authors so dirty, because 'cause we'll get into this later in the spoiler section, but Allie Hazelwood's was so good, and the
It
way that the
was.
angle she took, and then all the others followed that, like, instant love, like, kind
Yeah.
of, like, porny, sort of like, "Oh, like, the maintenance man is here," sort of, like, aspect, and so, like, that
Yeah.
made their stories all look really, like, not so great compared to Allie's, but Allie Hazelwood, we read Bride this year, and
Mhm.
we really enjoyed that book, so I was really excited to see she was, I mean, get that bag, Allie, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
honestly, well,
Amazon paid a lot.
oh, and that's the thing is I understand putting her first for the name recognition. Like, I don't know if I would've had us read these if it hadn't started with Allie Hazelwood, you know what I mean? Because I recognized her name and I was like, "Let's do it and give it
And
a
then
shot,"
Tessa
and I
Bailey too, I was like, "Oh my god, I've never read
yeah.
Tessa Bailey, this is a great opportunity."
I think they should have put the Tessa Bailey one last. I think they should have, like, sandwiched the bigger name
I agree.
authors because I think if I would have experienced these other ones and then Tessa Bailey's, I would have had a better, like, mindset going into it because Allie Hazelwood just took such a different approach
Yep.
than the others. It makes it hard, and we'll talk more later.
I 100% agree. Watch girls in the comments be like, "You don't know blah, blah, blah." I don't even remember their names. I'm gonna be like, "I'm so sorry." Once again, I feel like I need to put a disclaimer here because I'm gonna get so much hate. I'm not this is not for me, but I'm here just for the fun of it, okay?
Yes, and you know what? Olivia Dade, Alexandria oh, shit, and Alexis Daria.
Daria.
I
No,
love
not Daria.
Bellefleur. Oh, no, I actually when they pronounce it, it was pronounced very prettily.
Alexandra
It's just
Daddario is an
French.
actress. Alexis
Yeah, but
Daria,
it's Alexis Daria. You know what?
Bellefleur. I'm so sorry. I do not know who you people are.
I think all of you guys were so great at writing those sex scenes, and I also understand that short stories are a challenge, and so if you are listening to this and you're like, "These are my favorite authors, their romance books are so good," I believe you. Like, full-heartedly, I believe you. Peyton and I do not exist heavily in the spicy romance genre. I just didn't recognize their names, and I wasn't prepared for some of what happened.
I'm a little PTSD right now. Do we wanna jump to our favorites since we're talking about each individual author?
Well, I mean, I think it's obvious.
Oh, yeah, we already said that. Allie Hazelwood, Cruel Summer with You.
Cruel Winter with You.
Oh, sorry.
Taylor Swift on the mind.
Always. What's so funny is I saw the book title and I'm like, "It's a cruel winter." I was like the whole time. She knew what she was doing.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I mean, if a girlie's gonna do one thing, she's gonna quote Taylor Swift,
As she
okay?
should.
I loved this one. We're not gonna give super details about any
Yeah.
of these short stories because we're gonna jump into the spoiler section. But kind of an overview, Cruel Winter with You by Allie Hazelwood. If you're going to read just one, this is the one you should be reading. It kind of follows like this not second chance romance, but like these characters have a history going into it.
So
And
smart of
they were
her.
like childhood friends, and then there's like a little bit of a connection between them. And then there's forced proximity, which is our favorite romance trope.
Yes.
But what I think did so well with that is because Allie Hazelwood had them already have a shared history going into it, it wasn't insta love, which the rest of these in a way are.
Are.
Okay? Because they already like knew each other their whole lives. They had this like foundation of friendship, which is so important for a short story because like they had heartfelt moments and they like genuinely like knew each other and it wasn't just about like how hot the other one was.
Yes, like, they have that history, and so, this story, I just watched this movie on Netflix, and it just came out, so if you liked this movie, read this book, or if you read this short story, watch this movie. It's I forget the name of it, so sorry, all holiday movies sound the same, but I can tell you who's in it.
Okay.
Lindsay Lohan and Ian Harding from
Oh, the
PLL.
new one
Yes,
on Netflix.
when I tell you, copy paste. Well, like, not
Oh,
really, because it's a short
yeah.
story, but, like, friends, forced proximity, whole situation.
Mm.
You're gonna love it. It's a great movie. Lindsay Lohan's been through the ringer, obviously, so, like, Botox like, there's one scene this is a book podcast, I don't know why I'm talking about this, but just because of the spirit of the holiday, there's a scene when she's crying, but she has so much Botox, she's like she can't frown, so it's like
I
it's
really struggle looking at her face. Honestly, if someone has a lot of, like, work done and it's very obvious, like, I'm like
I just know her from Freaky Friday and, like, the good old Disney Channel days, so it's a little hard, but I really enjoyed the movie, and so you should
Good.
watch it if you like this book, and if you like that movie, which I'm sure more people have watched the movie than read this, you should read this short story, like, it gave the same
Yeah,
vibes. So,
that's
Cruel
cute.
Winter with You,
You,
A+,
A+. plus.
I like that one a lot.
I'm gonna go through kind of the general vibes for the rest of them real quick if you are in the non-spoiler section to kind of suss out what you might want, if it's for you or not. Merry Ever After is the one by Tessa Bailey. This is a dual POV cowboy type
Very
romance.
cowboy.
All by My Elf by Olivia Dade. Has forced proximity and coworkers. This is the other one that isn't fully insta love because they did have a few months of knowing one another. It's kind of like coworkers to lovers. Then we have Merriment and Mayhem by Alexandria Bell.
Bellefleur?
Bellefleur.
Bellefleur?
Thank you. I can't do
Yeah.
French, guys.
It is French.
Um,
Yeah.
which is kind of got like man in uniform, like he's like a firefighter.
Yeah.
And then Only Santa's in the Building by Alexis Daria, not Alexandra
The
Daddario.
Daria.
Has like the neighbor trope and like fix it man. Okay.
And it's kind of a play on, like, Only Murders in the Building, like that TV show with Selena
Yeah.
Gomez, which is kind of fun. I was excited to read that one. But yeah, it's like the boy next door. Alright, so with that being said, we need to rate these. So
Yes.
question for you, Aubrey,
Yeah.
is well, there's a couple things I wanna add in this, like, little
Yeah,
section.
yeah, yeah, yes.
One, I wanna give chili peppers for our people.
Yes.
From someone maybe, like, you can Aubrey can handle more smut than I can, so, like, they're gonna look
Yeah.
a little different. Because sometimes on TikTok, people are like, "1 chili pepper," and it's the most like, crazy shit.
Crunch.
You know what I mean? So, like, I think we should give it some chili
Mhm.
peppers for our girls.
Genuinely, I feel like they all have to sit at least at a 3.
Yep.
Like, if you're doing a 3 to 5 scale, I think we're getting, like, many descriptions and, like, it's on that, like, deeper level of, like, body parts and lingering in the scenes.
Vulgar words.
I mean, if you're thinking about this is a short story, and I would say all of these, maybe the least for Allie Hazelwood's, a fourth of it was smut. Like, a fourth of it was sex on the page.
I think altogether this series is definitely 4 to 5 chili peppers. And I think other stories made that bump up. I think that's why
Mhm.
we liked Cruel Winter with You the most, because it gave us the most, like, Hallmarky story vibes, not so, like
Yeah.
all the others, I feel like most of them, especially Tessa Bailey's, is just centered around sex. Like,
Yes, I was gonna
that
say
was the plot.
Tessa
Um,
Bailey's was a 5 for me. Like, I
yeah.
don't know, like, I mean,
I could
obviously
never
it's a
read something like that again.
short form, but, like, Tessa Bailey's was a lot, and I will say we listened to this, and I think that smut is so incredibly hard to listen to rather
Yeah.
than read. Like, when I'm reading it, I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm so turned on right now," and then when I'm listening, I'm like, "What is pornographic in my ears?"
Ear porn, ear porn. Yeah, reading smut and listening to it are 2 different hobbies for people, and if you enjoy listening to it, God bless. Like, you are a sexy person. I am jealous that you like to listen to that. I'm jealous.
No, listen, you know what blows my mind is my mom, who I talk about all the time, only wants to consume smut. She listens to all of it. She goes on a walk
She
she
wild.
listens.
She crazy.
She's wilding out there. There are middle-aged women in your neighborhood right now doing laps and listening to Tessa Bailey in their ears.
You listen to ear porn. Anyways, so yeah, definitely 4 to 5. This is a spicy. Do not listen to this out
Yeah.
loud.
Oh,
Okay.
no. I think if you, like, listened to it and you had a coworker walk in, you'd have to quit. Like, you'd have to, like, move.
And I work with all men. I literally wrote in my Goodreads review, I want to crawl underneath my desk and die.
Oh, yeah. At least I'm at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Next.
Okay, next. Is it worth it? And that'll go into our star ratings. Do you think that people should read these?
Okay. So
Like a book club girly comes to you and is like, I want something for the holidays.
it depends on who they are. Um,
Yeah.
so this is the thing. We right now, Aubrey and I are in the process of we're at our end of year rush to our reading goal. Don't
Yes.
know if we'll hit it, but regardless, we're vlogging the experience because we love putting out vlogs every so often on the YouTube channel. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music on our YouTube, sometimes we'll vlog. So anyways, I last night on the drive up to my parents' house, hence why my scene looks a little silly today. I vlogged and basically went through every title and just said yes or no because I feel so different about them all. And
Yeah.
so if we're going
Okay.
by 1 through 5, 1 and 5, yes, recommend.
Okay.
Yes, recommend. The the middles are like, if you're into that sort of thing, like why not just read them?
Yeah.
Like they're so short, why not?
Yeah.
You know? So is it worth it? Yeah, sure. I'm not gonna be like, "You need to read it this Christmas season," but I don't see a reason why not to, you know?
Yeah. That's
I
how
didn't
I feel.
I didn't hate it.
I would recommend all of these with my chest, and I already have, to my mother. You know what I mean? To my
To
sister.
the right person, to
The
the right
right person,
audience.
to someone who I know really likes smutty stuff and who I know can also handle the cheese. Like, you have to be able to be like, "Yes, I wanna be horny, and yes, I also am okay with insta love," with, like, like,
But this
cheesy
is for some girls,
behavior.
this is, like, it. Like, for instance, like, I would
Yeah.
recommend this to, like, my aunt or, like, my mom, like, "Hey, you gotta read these stories, like, they are wild." But my nana always asks for book recommendations, and I recommended
Mhm.
Wayward to her, and she's reading it, and she's like, I Wayward was our last book review. She's like, "I
Yes.
love it, like, we're talking about it," but I wouldn't be like, "Hey, Nana,
Mhm.
you should
Hey,
read
Nana.
Merry Ever
Wanna get your
After."
freak on?
You wanna get your freak on, Nana? He'd probably just be like, "Oh my gosh." But yeah, so, like, just know your
Yeah.
crowd, and so that's why we just
Yes.
gave that fair warning of, like, if this is you, girl, like, pop off, read a little spicy Christmas novel.
But I think I'd recommend to anyone who wants Christmas story and is okay with smut, the first one, Allie Hazelwood's. Like, I genuinely, and we'll get into it, I would rate that one jumping into star ratings. If I did individual, I would have rated that one 5 stars.
I
I think it
absolutely.
was absolutely perfect for being a short story, for being a Christmas, which Christmas really does, like, amp up the cheese and romance, you know what I mean?
It's part of it.
But for hitting those vibes, for still getting an emotional connection, I literally got butterflies as they were, like, talking, which is so extremely difficult for the format that we're working in.
Yeah.
I think that one was perfect. I would rate Tessa Bailey's, like, 2.
I rated it 1.
1. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's right. I honestly, it was playing, and I was like, "I don't know if I should have told Peyton to read this.
Oh,
I don't
no,
know if
it's
Peyton."
fun, like, I'm always cringing in, like, a "what" kind of way, but never
Yeah.
like, "I can't read," you know?
I think the rest would be closer to, like, a 2.5, 3. I mean, it's
Yeah,
a
I
short
would say
story, so I'm
3.
being grace. I'm giving with grace.
All the rest, yeah, like I said, the last one, the apartment building one, like, I thought
Mhm.
that was really cute, but once again, they had that history. So, do we recommend them? Yeah, yeah. Definitely the Allie Hazelwood one, a short story, and I mean, why not? Like, why not?
Alright,
Let's move on
now
to the spoilers.
into our spoiler section. For our spoiler section, we are going to try and stay on topic for each short story so they each can get their full thoughts and expansions. And I wrote out here also the names of all of the characters
Thank you.
because
I forgot them all.
I immediately was like, for this being so short of content, a lot of these are in first person. I was like, we're not gonna remember these bitches' names because they're all kind of similar. I will say I do really respect which one was it? Alexandra for making the main character's name Everly because I think those are some of the most Christmassy sounding names
I
that
just
I was just like
remember
Everly. I was like, ugh.
and in that story, he said Everly so many times, I,
Yeah.
like, had to remember it. So let's start with the one we loved by Allie Hazelwood, Cruel
Yes.
Winter with You.
Mark and Jamie.
This was cute, exactly what I wanted. The only thing I didn't necessarily I had no notes on this story, like, that I hated or
Okay.
whatever. The only
Yeah.
thing I didn't love is, like, the whole, like, Silicon Valley rich guy thing, like, kinda annoyed me a little bit. 'Cause she would be like, "Well, you're just this, guy," and he's like, "Oh, you watch CSPAN," whatever the
Yeah,
government
yeah,
thing is,
yeah,
and she's
yeah.
like, "Well, I was just putting it on for my, nursing home person or whatever,"
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh god," like, that was a little cringy, but other than that, like, it was
Well,
great.
and that was kind of surprising because Allie Hazelwood is our main women in STEM. And
Yeah,
so
and
I think
he
this is one of the first time where like the guy was like considerably smarter than the girl.
Yeah.
Like she was a nurse, but she didn't really have that much else going on for her. Like
No,
a lot of nurses we know in real life.
yeah.
I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Aubrey's gonna get disowned. And the nurses but the thing is, I feel like nurses are the people to read these stories. And
Yeah.
so, it's a
Yeah.
self-insert character. I don't have a lot of notes about this, but I loved because it's a friends to
Mhm.
lovers trope like we were talking before,
Yeah.
and they have this miscommunication trope. So we go back in time, we go forward in time, and we find out that they just had this misunderstanding. What really pissed me off though was he's like, "Well, I have 2 phones and I don't check the voicemail on that phone, but I'm like, "Okay." A little relatable, but also, what the hell? Like,
And
it
it's been,
was
like, months. Like, it's
it's
not like it's just been, like, 2 days. You know what I mean? Like, I
miscommunication is hard to
understand.
read, but it
Uh,
made sense for the short story. And I
yes.
and I absolutely loved the way this ended.
Yes. I love oh. Sorry, I was just thinking about how one of the other like, this book had the smut, and then there was more after it, and some of them did, but, like, one of them just ended with her being like, "My toes curled." And I'm like
I remember
Anyway.
like, rewind, I'm like, "Is that how it ends?" Give us an epilogue.
I need on a horny note. Um, I loved how this was structured. I think what really sold this, not only did they already have the emotional connection, but it almost felt like you were getting that like final 20 minutes of the movie. And then we had
Yes.
2 flashbacks for the context. You know what I mean? Like you watch a
That was
romance
so
movie
nice. Yeah.
to get to that like kiss scene. You for those last 20 minutes. And so the fact that she just like started it there and when you needed to jumped back in time to get that context, I think is the
Helpful.
perfect way to do a short story.
Slay,
Um,
Allie.
I
Slay.
have to say, if I rated them individually, I probably and like if we did like Storygraph or like Fable or one of those where you can like really get into the nitty gritty of your point system, I would probably do like a 4.9 or like a 4.8 because kind of like what you were saying earlier about him being like this stalker bro and like businessman and her like kind of being an idiot in some situations, they did my least favorite micro trope ever. And it's the, "Oh, yeah? Yeah." Eh, and it shows up in all romance books. Once you see it, you will
You
not be
can't
able to
unsee it.
unsee it, where she'll be like, "Yes," and then he'll be like, "Oh, yes," or something like that. I hate it. I hate it.
Did you
I
hate back
feel
in the day Fault in
like
Our Stars when he was like, "Okay," and she said, "Okay" back?
no,
Does that
I
bother
think
you?
that's fine.
Okay.
Because that was, like, them meeting on the same level, and this where it's like, "Yeah? Oh, yeah." or like
Oh,
whatever.
okay. Yeah, you're just like,
I
"Shut
feel
up.
like it's like
Shut up. Shut up."
it grates on me. It grates on me. It's like him being like, "Oh my god, she's so cute and small and childish." Like, it feels like he's talking to a child in those
Oh,
moments,
yeah,
and
like
I can't
belittling her. Yeah.
I don't like it when romance men treat the female lead like they are a child. It feels
Infantizing them. Yeah.
gross, yes. Anyways, and it was
I'm
just
with
for,
you
like,
there.
a hot second, but I just
I'm
that's
with you,
something
girl.
that, like, whenever I see it, I'm just like,
Ugh, like, that's, like, a trigger. Yeah.
yeah.
I had the same feeling, but, with these stories also, like, of course she gets stuck in a snowstorm, and of course
Yeah.
she has strained relations with her father, and, like, but the ending was so cute. So this ends, and he's like, "I'm not gonna say it now, but by next
Mhm.
Christmas, I'm gonna hold you like this, and, before we fall asleep, I'm gonna tell you I love you." And she's like, "I'm gonna tell you the same thing," whatever word for word it was. But it was beautifully written by Ali Hazelwood, and props,
Beautiful.
girl, like, really props. Ali, you should write. Wait, I just, downloaded Audible had a deal for
Mm.
$4, her I think she just released, maybe it's only an Amazon original, whatever, but she just released a holiday book, so I'm gonna listen to it this season,
Ooh.
because it's only, like, 4
Yeah.
hours long, so we'll see.
Very
I'll
fun,
keep you
very
guys
fun.
updated. Okay, so we're gonna turn the energy to full
Um,
heat now.
if you
Not me
really
blushing.
enjoyed Merry Ever After, maybe use the YouTube chapter features and skip past this.
I'm so sorry,
If you
everyone. I have
can't
notes.
handle the we listen, the horniness in this
I didn't even know you could
was
achieve such things.
I could not, like, it was just constantly, and the language that there
Wash
I've
your mouth, Tessa. What the heck? And I've read 50 Shades. Like, I love those books. I love those, like, I can get
yeah.
down with some nitty-gritty things, okay? And fantasy's no exception, okay? Fantasy gets crazy. They call it fairy porn for a reason, right? I have a whole note just for this short story.
Uh-huh.
And so, Aubrey, I'm gonna let you have your moment, and then
Okay.
I'll go down my list because
Okay.
I'll just carry on. I know I
Yes,
will.
yes. 1, it's adult POV. It shouldn't be adult POV. We never do I wanna be in a man's head, and I
Especially
think that made
cowboy.
this book considerably worse for me.
Mhm.
The fact that it was adult POV. Also, the guy who audiobooked it, like, his accent was good, but honestly, I did not need to hear
I wanna
that
get inside
southern
those
accent.
panties.
I wanna make you my
I'm
woman.
gonna make you my woman.
Is Tessa Bailey a conservative?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I know it's a cowboy romance, but, like, and it was in a lot of these books, it felt like, and I don't know if it was just trying to be country or if it was trying to be, like,
Misogynistic?
red pill. Yes, misogynistic, like, oh my
"You
god.
walk into this town and taunt me with that ass of yours." That's literally a quote from the book. That's a quote. "Taunt me with that ass of yours?" Like, she's just
My
a piece.
woman.
And then he said, "I made love to her like a brute." And then in this book,
Ew.
she gives him a blowjob, and he's like, "You don't have to do that," but, like, basically, he was like, "No, you need to do that." No other
No.
part of this book in these short stories did we see that. Like, if I'm reading about a blowjob, I'm gonna skip right on past because I don't care.
Isn't this for women?
This is yeah, I know. This is like, if you're a man, I got a book for you. I have a book ready
Yeah.
for you.
Oh my god, and he goes, "Oh, mama."
Oh, mama.
Uh, um, I cannot stand the emphasis that this had on his size. I don't understand why he had to be that big. I don't understand why we were like that was his main defining feature. I mean, he did nice things like bringing the bike and like being good with the kids, but it was so overwhelmed by the fact that he was just big, and that was like his crowning hotness was
Yep.
just how big he is, and that what happened in some of the other ones, but this one was it was so forceful of being like, "He's big and therefore you like, are take your pants off."
Yeah. Yeah, it's, like, because he's so massive, and then they're like, "He's so big, he's muscular, he's a farm boy." I said, in my review on Goodreads, I was like,
Mhm.
"Let me make this clear again. I am sorry to all my girlies that enjoy erotic, smutty things. I am not the review to pay attention to." I said, "This is nothing more than Wattpad porn." was like,
No, I read Wattpad porn back in the day. This is worse.
like, the toned down version of this is what young girls read on Wattpad to discover their sexuality, okay? Like, this is insane, and so I hated it. I said, "Of course this man's name is Luke. Of course." The most
Yep.
country sorta and it fit him. I said the
Luke.
I literally said the same thing, Aubrey. I said, "The audio narration for this man feels horrible." I said, "The main character kept saying friends with benefits, only they just met. They're not even friends."
They're not friends. They had no emotional
She's like, "I'm
connection.
just looking for friends with benefits," and he's
Imagine you see a hot person at your job or like a stranger and you're creating like an AU in your head of like, I'm gonna marry this person. We all do it. Okay, that's fine. And then you proceed to have sex with them. Like you go to their house, you have sex with them, and instantly he's already like, I'm gonna have you forever. I'm gonna make you my woman.
yeah, I have down words in bold what I couldn't handle and hearing anymore.
Yes,
This
yes, yes.
woman, daddy,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
daddy, we the daddy kink in here, big
Mhm.
man. I don't know if I can say this on the internet. Pussy, and also
Yeah,
I
you
don't like
can.
saying that word so many times. I don't like
So
hearing that in
many.
my ears. I don't like reading it, whatever. Okay. I literally put ew next to it. And then this is what really got me.
Mhm.
After they're done smashing, she's like, I almost forgot about the baby on the bed. She brought her child to her hook, her sneaky link.
The sneaky
And
link.
she's like, and there what I don't even remember the kid's name. She's like, and then the baby was on the bed.
Listen, I understand if
She's a
you're a
single
parent,
mom.
you should get to smash with your baby in the room. The baby shouldn't be on the same bed. Put him on the fucking
And
floor.
I get she's a single mom.
Imagine,
Her feet
the
were
bed's
bleeding.
shaking a little bit and the
Yeah,
baby
the
just,
baby's
like,
like
yeets off.
they're just rocking it to sleep.
You're rocking it to sleep.
Okay.
No, no, I'm sorry. Put the baby on the floor.
And I said, if I have to read about a BJ one more time, I'm never picking up a book again.
Honestly, I can
And then she like leaves or whatever. Like, I honestly, guys, I'm so not interested in this story at all. But he's like so down bad after one hookup with this girl, and he's like, I can't even tend to the farm. He's like, I can't
the
even tend to the
crops are
farm.
gonna die.
He's so down bad for this woman. He's like, I can't even tend to the farm. And so, yeah, that's all I really want to say about this book. What?
It was bad.
It was
It
so
was
bad.
bad.
It was so bad.
And you know what? I like really, really hated the insta love in this. And some of these other ones aren't much better, but at least they aren't this explicit. I don't know.
Anyways,
I think if you're really feeling really horny and you take this book into the bed with you,
yeah,
that's where this book is best going to serve
and
you.
it needs to stay there.
Ending note, the worst quote in my opinion of I think this sums up the story actually. I don't know if it's necessarily the worst, but I think it is a good summary. They don't make jeans that fit me and they don't make women that fit me either.
What incarnation?
Kill me now. Okay. All by My Elf by Olivia Dade.
Yes. Okay, this is also a miscommunication trope as well.
Yes, and this is the one where I'd say these characters know each other the best second. Like if you had to
After
like
Hazelwood.
rank how the insta love, like these are the second on the bottom, I guess, of not being insta love. I
So
don't know.
this one fades in the background the most to me, and the next one I think just because they're in the
Yeah.
middle, and I was so
Yep.
scarred from Tessa Bailey's. But so they're coworkers at university, and they
The
drive
professors.
around this like penis looking
Car.
car,
Uh-huh.
and this is one of those things, and I highlighted it in the book where I guess he has like a 10-inch dick or something, and
Huh.
the girls, Nina and what's her name?
Yeah.
Claudia or whatever, they were like, "Don't guys know that that's not, like, what's comfortable for a woman anyways?" Like
Oh, is this the one where he apologizes for his dick being too big?
yeah.
Because honestly, what man? What man ever?
I think yeah.
Ever?
And so they're like anyway, so they're in this car all the time, and
Yeah.
basically, Nina thinks and she's a crush on this William professor dude, but her bestie likes him too, and she thought that they hooked up. Like, Anna's
Yeah.
like, "I have to hold this inside, but I have these fantasies about him," and, like, whatever. Long story short, these 2 get stuck in this, like, very phallic car they have to drive around, and the whole point of this book is that people always, like, moon and expose themselves to the women.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't care. Not great. Okay. Anyway, so William and Nina get stuck in this car, and this is where that forced proximity romancy starts to
Yeah.
happen. We
Mhm.
find out that William has been like trying to get with her, but whatever.
He was,
Anyways,
like, going to the best friend for advice, whereas she thought he was going to the best friend for, like
friends with benefits sort of situation.
yeah.
And
I was
so
gonna say
things
something inappropriate.
yeah, things get cleared up and oh, and then they get cold. Like they're so cold and he runs cold but she runs hot. And so he's like there's a point in the book where he's like, "What if we used each other for body heat?" And and then they fuck in the back of the car.
And then they fuck in the back of their car. Yeah. Good thing about this story is it had some plus size representation for our ladies. Bad thing about this story, I don't know why when you're assigned to do a Christmas story, like, the only thing that had like, I feel like she already had Olivia Dade already had this short story written, and then Amazon was like, "Hey, can you pop this into this thing?" And she was like, "Oh, sure." And should the so then the reason that the friend, like, goes off for this night is, like, she goes to spend a night with her family for Christmas, but, like,
There's no
not
Christmas in
actually
this book.
on Christmas Day. Like, no, there's no Christmas in this book. So you're losing stars for that.
Yeah.
You're losing stars because I think the phallic car thing was weird,
It yeah,
and I
it was
don't think it
always
makes it
related
like,
back
it
to his oh, yeah, because he was like they played Never Have I Ever. That was their thing.
yeah. Oh, which is, like, kind of very, very childish, actually, because 'cause they're all professors. So, mind you, to be a professor, they're all in, like, their 30s,
Yeah,
okay?
I think they're like they're they call them professors, but they have to be like TAs. Like
No, I
what
think they're all professors because
that
he's talking about how
university.
he couldn't get tenure and he's been working there for, like, 5 years. Like, this man is, like, 35. I don't know. I think this one was just, like, really lacking for me
Yeah, this just didn't hit. So I think we
at
should
all.
move on because I don't want to waste any
Yes.
more time on this. But yeah, like whatever. Okay, so the next one is for all of our people that love a man in uniform, love a man like
Yes.
a firefighter sort of situation. This is Merriment and Mayhem.
This was another, like, he's big
Yeah. Yeah. And their name, of course, is Griffin and Everly. And he says her name all the time in
all
this.
the time. That name
Yeah.
he
I
loved the
remember a
sound of
couple
her
things about
name.
this. The bigness, the firefighter-ness, how he's so down bad and the firefighter chief is like, "Oh, all he can talk about is you." I remember cookies and I remember her falling into water.
So, the book sets up and she is, like, taking care of her grandma's house. Her grandma has just recently died.
Oh,
This one
yes.
and the next one, both of them, the grandma died. I was, like, confused for a second. Anyways, um, and so then there's, like she makes a fire baking these cookies, so the fireman shows up and he, like it's, like, a very, like, on point cute meet, okay?
Yeah.
So she's trying to, like, turn the fire alarm
Oh,
off.
she's staying at the grandma's house. Yes. So
Yes.
I'm the next one I'm mixing up with the
Yeah,
Seattle and
yeah,
cute
yeah.
little town too. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why we had to put 2 dead grandmas right in a row, like,
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
don't know, they were just like, "Grandma got run over by a reindeer, bitch," I don't know.
Yeah, this
Um
is the one where it starts off with her house on, like, fire.
Yes, and so, obviously, the house is on fire, and so she's, like, trying to turn the fire alarm off, and she slips and falls, and she's, like, just wearing, like, a shirt and no pants, and he comes in and he, like, catches her. Um, Very cute, and then there's, like, a series of other, like, unfortunate events in which, like, he comes back to, like, save her, then later it's, like, she
She's on a
gets
flat
her
oh,
ladder
she's, like,
falls
holding
or
onto the house.
breaks while she's trying to like, it was very,
The
cute
neighbors'
cute.
voices, "You need to come get this woman."
Yeah, I thought it was very cute. It again was insta love. Like these
Yeah.
people have no connection, and already the guy's like, "Well, I'll be with you forever." Like da 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 da. Like I'm looking to see like if we could do long distance in this relationship. They went on
Yeah.
one date, and then they're immediately like fucking. I get it. You have to get to your sex scene. I thought it was fine. I don't know.
It was cool to see him as, like, a firefighter and, like, he had an
Yeah.
occupation and, like, how she worked that all in, like, it was very much like, like I said, that, like, maintenance man trope of, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I need to
Yeah.
call blah, blah, blah," and, like, this turned in and she had these, like, fantasies and, like, one of them always talked about, like, "I just have these fantasies. I just have these fantasies," and it was, like, ridiculous. Um,
Yeah.
so I would recommend this one more
Mhm.
than All by My Elf.
Yeah. No, I agree. If I had to rank them, I would do Cruel Summer with You. Oh, made me
See?
do? Made me do? I think I would do Cruel Winter with You, and then honestly, I might put this one next,
I would put the next one we're gonna talk about, Only Santa's in the Building, next, and then
and
the rest
then
kinda fall in line.
Santa's, then All by My Elf, and then
And
Merry Ever
Marriage After.
After.
So the next one, Only Santa's
Yes.
in the Building, this is fun. So we have another dead grandma situation, but
Yes.
she's living in her own apartment, and
Mhm.
she's in this apartment building, and there's this really cute guy who I think lives upstairs,
Yes, lives
and
directly above her.
she has a big crush on him. They mentioned, of course, like, she's renting her apartment. She's
Mhm.
a comic book designer, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Ah, I work from home all day and blah, blah, blah." But she's, like, on the phone with her sister. She's like, "Yeah, but he owns his apartment." Like, they talk about how much money he has. Like, he owns his apartment. So, anyways, this guy does these, like, carries her groceries for her one day and then, like, does these cute little, like, ornament drop off things for her.
Mhm.
And so, once again, a little miscommunication trope. Of course, there's, like, this party that she goes to for her apartment building, and, of
Yeah.
course, he's there, and her sister's like, "Don't shit where you eat," or "Don't eat," or whatever.
Yeah, don't
No,
eat where
yeah.
you shit
Yeah,
or
the
something.
opposite, yeah, and they kept on saying that, and I was like, "That's so gross to think about." Anyways, so he's like, "Well, I was just trying to send you hints, but you weren't picking up on" I'm like, "Why can't men just say what they want?"
Because they don't know how to express their
Yeah,
emotions.
I
What?
was like, "What about we just say
What do
we
we just
just ask her on a date?"
ask?
Anyways,
Yeah, it's a mess. He's kinda like a fix-it man too, like, he,
yeah.
like, keeps coming into her apartment to, like, do the stuff that maintenance isn't
This is the one
doing.
with the fantasies because she has, like, this image in
Yes.
her head of them, getting it on.
And all this is another one where, he was just so
So
big.
big.
I don't know, like, something about that, it just, like, felt like, very, like, early 2000s, like, the only couple we can imagine is the extremely thin woman and, like, the massive, massive man. I felt weird about this one. I don't know if I liked it or not because the insta love in this one icked me out the most
Okay.
because they, like, made it very clear that they had never actually had conversations with each other. Like, they keep having all these cute little run-ins, but they never actually talked. So they both just had these, like, crushes on one another, which is super cute. But when they are at the party and then finally she's like, "I'm gonna look
They're
hot for
talking. Oh,
him.
yeah.
It's finally time." They get, like, stuck under a mistletoe together, which is cute.
Yeah.
She goes and she, like, makes out with him in front of all of these people, like, in front of this, like, huge, like, a whole party's
Didn't she
going
say
on.
she just had to get it out? Like, she just had to do it?
Yeah, she was like, "If
Yeah.
this is gonna be my last kiss, I just have to get in there." I respect that. I even respect making out in front of everyone, even though, like, you're basically strangers. That's all fine. The thing that turned me off and that makes me not like this as much is they make out and they instantly leave to bang. They
Oh, yeah. I'm like
instantly leave to bang. I'm so sorry, but we could have spared an extra sentence or 2 and then been like, after that, I couldn't stop thinking about his kiss against my lip for the rest of the party. I just kept making eyes at him.
yeah, like,
And then
build
at
the
the end of the
tension.
night, you go to
Build the
bang.
tension.
Build the tension. No,
Or, like, she should
instead
go back to her apartment and he, like, knocks on the door and then, like, there
yes,
it is. You know what I mean?
something like that.
Like,
That
we
would have
didn't
been
get
so
that.
much better than them making out in front of everyone and then very, very,
Leaving?
very publicly taking her hand and said, "We're gonna go fuck now," and announcing it to the entire apartment building. Like, I'm kinda with sister on this one.
Yeah, I'm kinda with the sis on this. I did like the line where he's like, "You don't need to get all dressed up like Mariah Carey, like, I'd like
Yeah.
you anyway," and I was like, "Okay, I like that line," but it helped
No,
me
that
with
was
the
cute.
image. She was like, "I'm gonna get all, like, dressed up," and her sister's like, "Girl." girl. But of
Mhm.
course, like, I do understand the aspect. She's like, I don't want to go spend. I don't know if I understand it, but I thought it was like, I guess, relatable for this. I don't want to go spend Christmas with my sister and her family because I feel more alone. Basically,
Oh,
she was like,
yes.
my nieces and nephews are little shits and they annoy me, so I'm not going home for Christmas.
I kinda get the like, the image they were trying to paint of being
Yeah.
like, if you're with
Or she's a
people who are
loner
all so
together.
tight-knit and family, and then being like, "Oh, this actually feels worse."
Oh, yeah, because it was, like, his family, not
Oh, I
hers.
think this one Evie also, is, Latina. I forget
Mhm.
I don't know if they mentioned, specifically more, but some Latino rep in the
Yes.
book. Oh, also, final thing for the Insta love is that after they bang, okay, great. They're immediately, like, talking like they love one another, and then they take each other to their, like, family Christmas. I don't know if it's this one or the other one,
Yeah,
but
they
they,
do.
like
I think
oh,
it's
yeah,
this
no,
one.
because okay, so he's giving her the ornaments as a surprise gift the 12 days before Christmas, okay? 12 days before Christmas is when they first start having conversations.
Right.
Oh, 2 weeks, not less than 2 weeks. They start having conversations, they have sex, and then on Christmas, you're taking this person you've been dating for 1 week home for
Imagine
Christmas?
sister's face. She's like,
Oh my
"Don't
god, I wanna be in that
don't
room.
eat where you shit."
I'm sorry, I don't think you should take your boyfriend of a week home for Christmas. Am I crazy?
They're like, "Oh, hey, yeah, this is Theo. Remember Theo?" And she's like,
No.
"Evie,
The one
what
I
the
told you
hell?"
explicitly not to fuck?
And then she gets the check from her uncle that she was pissed off for selling the
Yeah.
house, and she's like and she gets extra, and then she's like, "Okay."
Mhm. Okay.
I
You're
thought
like,
they
"Well,
like,
it was
Theo
supposed
was
to
gonna,
move,
like,
but
buy
okay."
her the like, a year later, it'd be like, Theo bought the
Yeah.
house for Evie, and, like, maybe a year later, like, the epilogue would be like, "A year later in Christmas," like, blah, blah, blah. Anyways.
Yeah, like, a year later, they're still together after this, like, explosive, like, first meet, beginning
Yeah.
dating story kinda thing. I don't know. Oh, also, because that's kind of what happened with the Merry Ever After with Tessa Bailey, except we jumped, like, 6 years to the future, and they're, like, happily married, and oh, and then he tells the son to watch the daughter so they can go bang for a little bit.
That
I don't
sent me.
know if you should be that explicit to your child. Like, I
Sh
think it's, like
He's like,
like,
"You
I don't
gotta
think you need
watch
to
your little sister."
explicitly tell your son to watch your daughter so you can go bang his mother.
Yeah. Oh, well, guys,
Guys,
I hope you
Merry
enjoy Merry
Christmas!
Christmas. This is, the beginning of December. We're happy to be here with you all. If you've read these or you just wanted to hear us gossip about these stories, please let us know. If you have any Christmas recs that you absolutely love and aren't too smutty, just the right amount of smut,
Just
um,
the right amount.
and
We've
romance
read 'Tis the Damn Season no, 'Tis the Season
for
and One
revenge.
Day in December. 'Tis
Yes.
yes, for revenge and One Day in December. That's it.
So, that's it, and we're reading Winter in Paradise by Ellen Hildebrand right now for
Oh,
book club.
yeah.
So,
Ugh.
yeah. So it's interesting, very, middle-aged for us. But anyways, so with that being said, please like, subscribe. Thank you. We just hit 1,000 subscribers on
Ah,
YouTube.
that's
So,
so wild.
we love you all 1,000 plus of you. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please leave a review. It helps boost
Yes.
us up so more people can join the fam. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and Merry Christmas!
Yay!
Get your sweat on, girl.
Yay! It's cruel winter. I'm drunk in the back of the car.